What's up? All right. Chat, welcome. Today we're programming, or as my title says, programming. Yes, we are working on coalescence today. Things are borked, and we need to unbork them. At least that's the plan. So, uh, let's get to it. So, one of the things I'd like to do, I have to start OBS. One of the things I'd like to do is break the dependency on sharp compress because it's just not necessary. It is used in the bot system. Actually, I think I've removed it from the bot system, haven't I? I think so, actually. Let's see. Test scene on. Get it going with the actual solution. Let's enter my NuGet password. Gets every time. I really should just fix that. I know I can make it work. I just don't know how. All right, sharp compress. Congratulations on being first. We have a transitive dependency on sharp compress on every single uh, project because they all depend on core, which depends on sharp compress. Um, here is my thing. If we go to installed, we search for sharp compress, you can see, huh? Oh, it's the solution. So you can see every single one of them depends on sharp compress because the top level dependency is on core. And that is the subsystem log summarization, which is done in uh, create log writer and summarize logs. So plan is to use system compression, system IO compression. What is your deal? Requires a stream directly. Okay. So this. Um, Its archive name is never used. Also, these files are never closed. Could just do using pattern. They will close themselves now. Okay. Hmm. So I guess it's file.open. I think this works. I actually have no idea. File access. That breaks the link on sharp compress if this works. Actually, no, it doesn't. What? Why is sharp compress still used? Oh, it's because of this. So what I want to do is go to the coalescence data directory. And I'm basically just gonna start and stop coalescence until it forces a rebuild. A re-summarization. I'll probably save the log. It'll probably save the subsystem folders. That's why that didn't work. I pressed help and nothing. 70 days left. Look, that's gonna happen soon. 70 days. Those are rookie numbers. I believe in you. Wait, the backup zip file still exists. Has it been failing to delete the backup zip file this entire time? No. Okay. So we're going to start and stop coalescence. Also, I should probably go back to whatever folder I was in. All right. So this did not save the archive. I knew something was weird. I was horrifyingly overcomplicating this. Um, OBS crash. What? Why? How? Also, how? What? I fucking. Huh? It's just the OBS jank. None of these things were able to copy, so I have to rebuild the solution. Mm. Oh yeah, no, this file stream locks the file, and then we immediately try to open it for rewrite. So obviously that's not going to work. Have I been deleting old logs accidentally this entire time? Hmm. I don't think any of these are gonna work. I need to power rename this. Change 5 to 6. Okay. Okay. That's all good. Now what I need to do is delete the entire subsystems folder and restore the old copy of it, which I will restore immediately into a new copy again. I might do a a separate log writer class. The idea being that most of these log files keep the logs open indefinitely, which in some systems you have a limit to how many files you can have open, like in Linux, where it's like 1,000. So if I ever do port this to Linux, it will be a significant amount of file handles open to files that are very, very rarely being written, which is a bad thing. So we can remove this dependency on sharp compress. We'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure that was to fix a problem. Right. This is actually a requirement. We're going to add a dependency to sharp compress for this project. But we'll install the new version. I do need to quickly check to make sure that the old bot projects don't use sharp compress, because if they do, it's going to cause an assembly version mismatch problem. But I'm pretty sure I got rid of sharp compress from the bot project. We now use system.io compression. Sharp compress is installed on bot platform's Discord. We will be updating that to version 48 to get rid of the dependency on a vulnerable version of sharp compress. Okay. So we've been working on a lot of things, mainly just trying to get everything nice. All right. Oh yeah, the speech to text isn't going to be working because I don't have Coalescence on at the moment. Which does mean if a bot comes in, we'll get botted upon. Ah, yes, the chat controller thing. I need to split this. So this is a system that I've been working on in the past, and it is a way for chat to send keystrokes to applications. It works. The problem is it uses a bunch of technology that should be available everywhere and not just in chat controller. So, for example, the keybind system should be available to everything and not just chat controller. So the plan is to split out part of it into what is called Coalescence Keyboard, which gives keyboard availability to Coalescence. So the first order of business is to make this not say chat controller. Second order of business is to change this to be a data grid view, probably. So this is going to be a completely different thing. So we can do... We'll keep these new keybind buttons. But we don't need these, don't need... Actually, we do kind of need roles. No, we don't, because that's a chat controller thing. So we have just keybinds. I need a data grid view. We need a column. We need column 1 will be keybind name. With a width of 240. Then we will have a second one, keybind value. A width of 160. Okay, maybe 240 again. It did not resize. What? Oh, I set the fill weight to 240. 240. All right. So what I want to do now is this. These are both functions that are simple to do with just the data grid view. So I'm going to change this to, because I know new keybind opens a window. I'm going to change this to say, um, open keyboard window. Or from keyboard window. And then this will open a new keyboard form. We are just going to create, we're going to delete any reference to deleted code. There's a lot of deleted code. This is, after all, much less featured than the chat controller form. Okay. This keyboard window will open the new keyboard form. Oh, no, that's not the right one. We want this. So we want the select keybind form. Which I don't actually remember how we get the keybind out of it. But yeah, this new keybind form is chat controller, so we don't need this. Probably should have read it. That's awkward. If only I had a second copy of it somewhere. How do we know what it is? Xbox1.text. We'll select keybind form, keybind. Okay. Dependencies on audio. That's weird. Okay. So there's a lot of work to be done to bring this up to speed, actually. The idea is to use JSON serialization to store the data instead of a file list, because file list is one of the most archaic ways to store data that is in Coalescence. Because it's just really really not great in terms of flexibility. It's meant for like very simple things like storing arrays of strings and stuff. Um, hmm. We'll see if this works. If I open the keyboard, it yells telling me that there's not a main window. Form should not be sizable. Be fixed single. All right, we'll do fixed tool window. Maybe even none, honestly. Now we'll do fixed tool window. Okay, so that does work. The idea is that you would create your keybinds, or maybe Coalescence would register default keybinds. Maybe we even have a settings file. Maybe that's how we do it. A settings file of keybinds. Because the idea is that um, you can use these keybinds to, let's say, execute scripts. You could add it to the control surface, for example, um, to execute scripts and other functions of Coalescence. Um, the only problem is the current way that it reads keys is by using the Windows hotkey system, which is not super great. Um, as much as I want to use settings for this, I probably should use JSON, because if I use regular settings, I'm not going to be able to extend it with other features. So we're going to use JSON. This is the minimum amount of data you need. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This could almost be converted to a record. How you doing? And is sick. Well, I hope you feel better soon. You just got like a cold or Harry's man polished up the ring, ended up having an app woke up from an app that my stomach decided it didn't want what was in it and then still doesn't. Damn. The cherries got him. Don't need this hotkey registration because Control Alt Shift 12 F12 doesn't do anything here. Hmm. Trying to think of how I want to load this data in. I mean, I could just use it as data directly. Means we need to have a process message so that we can actually register keybind. So override. All right. Else, if message.namespace is keyboard, more specifically, if it is not keyboard, return false. Which message.type case is add keybind. Actually, we'll also require that it's a dictionary message. Oh, message is not dictionary message. String keybind name equals dm.get value of name as string keybind value. If keybind name, if string dot is null or white space keybind name, or string that is null or white space of value, and return false. Actually, we're return true because it was a valid message, but we're refusing to handle it. Else keybind k equals new. Right, JSON keybind k equals new. So keybind name and keybind value. Keybinds.add k. Okay. And this will also return true. Actually, this is a tautology. This fill that right all text. All right. Is path.combine data directory keybinds.json. Want to write that with JSON convert dot to or serialize object keybinds. Want to write our keybinds after these two operations. We will make it internally available. That way the keyboard or the new keybind form, what is it called? Keyboard form, can add new things as well. Why did that assign button to click when? Grand. We don't have that information, do we? Hmm. We could just do it the simple way. All right. This maybe might work, possibly. Um, I'm not quite sure how, but it doesn't work, and I don't think it's something I've done. I think I have to delete the data grid view. Actually, come to think of it, data grid view cell value change doesn't need to do anything now. In fact, it doesn't. Right. Oh, because it's including the last row. Okay. It was adding the last row, which is always empty. All right. So these are 240 and 240. That's pretty exciting. Okay. All right. Now, I want to make a message that is add default keybind. Which will only set it if the keybind does not already exist. Yeah. So add default keybind will add a keybind if it doesn't already exist. Does C# support fall through? Fair. Oh. Wait, you can do fall through. Wait. Okay, hold on a minute. The idea is you take these. These strings may not exist, but that's all right. We can check um if any keybinds equal this. When does hold on? Argument exception is thrown when? Oh, it's thrown if this is an invalid thing. So this will never throw an exception. Proposa. Um, so if any keybind matches this, we go to true. Otherwise, we can do go to case add keybind, which is C#'s method of explicit fall through. Which means now, if this is just a precondition of this block here, which I think is better than like if else spam and stuff like that. That's good. We have more bots coming through trying to give me view botting websites. I don't want it. You're never going to get me to do it. But you have reminded me that I need to get that. Oh no. I don't still have that thing open, do I? Um it, um here we go. Found it. Need to put this in the auto moderator. Get this loaded in there. Just remembered to do that. It's gonna be a bit of an experience actually processing the file, but you know, so unfortunately the lookup is um it's n squared, isn't it, for each line? It's n squared for the number of tokens too, which is not great, but yeah, I don't even know where I would do this. I'd probably search each line for anything that is under the code point of 256, and then process all of the Unicode ones of that for each occurrence of it in the string. It's not n squared. Um, it's nm, where m is the number of ASCII characters in each set, and n is the number of input characters. I think something like that. But since most of these are going to be just like random Unicode lookalikes that will never be, we don't need to compare them against their Unicode versions because the banned text shouldn't be in that range. Actually, it could be because it could be CJK characters. At least for ASCII, because that's where most of the the damage is going to be anyway. Oh, there's a problem with this file, I've just realized. I mean, I could probably modify it a bit, but I'm not about to say why it doesn't work. I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the bathroom. Okay. We can take a look at these. I might ask blue to attack any solution I make. As think he'd be pretty good at breaking it. Okay. Now we need to make a system to check for keybinds. But we will do that later. This is not the main focus today. The main focus is finishing Selfter, which I think might actually be done, except for one little freaky thing it does, which is that it does not actually play the audio until the second time you open the window, which is weird, but it's not the worst. I need to change the real-time transcription to not be a sizable window, because it does not support being resized. So real-time audio form. We'll change this to be a full disable button. Okay. We will that. Oh, did I change this? I don't think I changed the sizability. I did not. This is fixed single. Also means the Selfter form is also probably not right and should also be fixed single. Might actually be tool window for this one. I say that like I have some sort of test to see which one it should be. Hey, this one is fixed single actually. Oh, I did not close coalescence first. So none of those things just finished. Okay. Excellent. So if we go to the Selfter window, it should also not be sizable, and it isn't. The only thing that's kind of weird is that it selects the output. Is I'm not too fond of that, if I'm being honest. It is also the only selectable form. Okay. So now it's playing the audio right. If I say fuck, cool. And it's cleanly going to both windows. Sick. The only thing that's maybe a little weird is that the redaction is actually handled on the real-time transcription window and not the self-dir window. That's not where you would expect it to be. But it does work, surprisingly enough. I really thought that splitting this out was going to take a very long time. It took like 20 minutes. I say a very long time. I expected like 3 hours. Okay, so now we just need to fix the problem that this only gets initialized when this window calls change output device. Which is weird because this is the same function that's called when it's connected. I also love this. Try catch. We could just change this 3 times, I guess. I will do it twice. Let's see if this fixes it. It should not do. But if it does, then we have knowledge. Extra information. Hmm. No dice looks like. What even is the output device ID anyway? Set to 0. Wait. Set to 8. Eight is VB out. VB matrix out 7. It actually could be working. So out device ID is 8. If 9 is greater than the count of items in this combo box, which it isn't, the count is 12. And we set it to -1. We set the inbox to be the out device, or the selected index rather, to be the out device ID +1, because -1 is an option. So it should be taking SS, not RIS. This might fix everything. Well, I'll have to change the value anyway. This should be SS, does it? Because the scripting, or not scripting, the self-dir subsystem is responsible to the output. Now, if I close the lessons and open it again, it should just work. And it does. And now I can say fuck. Just that easy. I love how like quiet I get. I wonder if it's actually that quiet for you guys. It seems to be. Yeah, it is. Oh well. For OBS, it's being like preempted and like normalized. but over here it sounds kind of shit. Yeah, I forgot I can't say that. Okay. That was a lot easier than I anticipated. So now what? I could let me package this and send this. Do we have anything I shouldn't include? We could just leave all of this. It's like model change isn't useful to this client, but we can leave it. So let us go ahead and uh, find the folder. I generally don't like to push things that are not useful to somebody, but in this case, I don't think it can be avoided. 7-zip, add to archive. Make an 8-zip file. Okay. I think that's all good. Of course, it's 10.6 megabytes. Fuck me. Man, the pain of having Vosk. The big one. Real big one. I mean, Vosk alone is like 40 megabytes. Why is Sharp Compress still here? Oh, because it has to be. Because the model downloader uses 7-zip archives. Okay. That means I have to do the alternative release method. Sounds really cool, but it really isn't that cool. Just this. Case sensitive, huh? Actually, I'm a little curious to see how small it would be if I got rid of Vosk. A little bit of thinking here. These 5 DLLs are because of Vosk. Yeah, it goes down to 4.7 megabytes. So around 60% of this archive is Vosk. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty small for what it does, so I can't even be angry. Oh no, I have to hear this dumbass. You're being cordoned back off to. Actually, I could just disable it. Yeah, let's just disable it. Actually, let's quickly check that it does actually disable. If I turn it on and I keep saying words, it actually does turn off. That's crazy. Oh, I should probably check to make sure it's actually not being logged, because if it's being logged, there's a problem. All right. All right. Now. So, um, I just wanted to check because the way that we get the audio from the real-time audio system to the self-care system is by forwarding it as a message, which also means that it probably is one of the highest frequency messages that is sent. In fact, it's probably high enough size and frequency that we should probably look into limiting where it's sent, or making it a subscription based message, because sending it to every subsystem means that there's going to be a lot of random shit being sent. Random shootings, damn. My app is shooting itself. Realized I forgot to open YouTube chat. That's all. That has been fixed. Hello, YouTube. Ah, 7 people have popped in within the last hour. All right. So many like things open right now. Honestly, I kind of got through everything I wanted to do in the short term earlier than I thought I would. And I don't actually have anything else planned. What else? I mean, we can work on the keyboard system, but not actually that much to do. This is already almost done. We just need to find a way to actually pull for it. And I don't actually want to deal with that right now because I don't have any ideas how to do that. Because we can't use this so the problem with using the Windows hotkey system is that one, it's not available not on Windows, which is not. I mean, I guess all of this isn't available on Windows. I'm literally using Windows Forms, so maybe that's not a valid point. But the other problem is Windows hotkeys require modifier keys. At least from what I know. Like it cannot be no modifiers. And then also you can't register the same hotkey as another application. So we need to find a way to pull the keyboard state. And if only there wasn't this, this crazy feature in the Win32 API called get async keyboard state. Yeah, we're going to be using that most likely. But the problem is you have to busy pull it. And there's just a bunch of stuff of how do I want to do. We will get there. But we might actually call it early today. I don't have a whole lot of plans. I'm struggling to focus. So let's find somebody to raid. Very early raid today. Holy shit, so many people are online. Oh, there's this strange guy. Strange guy who may or may not be trying to get affiliate. Very, very interesting guy here. Chat. Going to raid. Why did my copy not work? Going to raid Fem Reaper, who is playing Deadlock with Even. So, there's our raid message. You are never safe from the S area raid, except for when you are. There is a way to be safe. There's actually a couple ways to be safe, but we don't tell them that. We have to make it seem scary. But yes, if you're not a subscriber, that's fine. Just everything except for the emote. So just you are never safe from the S area raid. Everybody, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. Once again, sorry that it's a little bit early to exit, but I have some stuff I have to do as well. And yeah, I will see you next time. Everybody, make sure to stick around and give Fem Reaper a follow. He's cool, and also trying to get affiliate. So, everybody, thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye.